Hey guys, welcome back to another tutorial. Today we're going to be talking about how to properly siege a town or a castle, pretty much. So I'm going to give you my little tips, stuff that works for me. If you could see on my map, I've done quite a little bit of sieges. We're coming to the end game over here. But yeah, I decided to just, why not share it. Some little stuff that I didn't know at first that now I figured out, so, thought why not. But let's get right into it. Let's just do one. I'm going to show you my steps. So this one has a lot of defenders, so it's going to be a tough one. So okay, so there's three things to consider before you start a siege, right? So first thing is, how long is a siege? Are you going to stand there forever shooting catapults back and forth? If you are, make sure to bring a ton of food. As you can see, I have a ton of food. I have 84 days until I'm out of food, which is actually shorter because it looks like they are going to run out before me, right? So you only have 29 days, as you can see. But yeah, before you start a war, or if you're going into a war, if you're starting an army, bring a lot of food. I usually bring 80% of my inventory in food. If I can show you right here, see, a good percent, just food, food, food. Now, the second one is, how much time are you willing to spend? Because for me, right now, I'm in the winning position. So if you look at my total strength against any of the other clans, I'm in the winning position. That means I could stand here all day and just work on this one town while everyone else in my kingdom, all my other clans, right? All these guys are going to just be running around with their own armies, either defending or attacking other things. So I can take my precious time, right? But early game, you can't take all the time in the world. Let's say you only owned these three. That's what I started out with, was these three right here, right? And these guys right here that I'm attacking right now, they had this whole area. So what I would used to do was I used to find towns that were small, and I would just build the basic, what do you call them? They're not the ladders, they're the thing that replaced the ladders, the siege towers. I just build the basic siege towers and attack. Why? Because when you, let's just start so I can show you. When you are starting out, right? All this takes in-game time. The besieging, the building siege camp, and then all the extra stuff you build takes in-game time, which will bring your cohesion down. It will bring your food down, and stuff in the background still happens. Towns are still getting, taken, and all that other stuff. So be wary of that. If you take too long, you might come out of this and two of your towns are taken while you only took one. Just be careful with that. Now, the third thing is the size of the town being attacked. Because as you can see right here, I have 1,000 to their 800. This is going to be a hard town to take. That's a lot. That means there's a lot of archers, right? So it's going to be hard. So what you want to do for this one is you want to take your time with this one. If it was a lot smaller, let's say 200, 100, I would rush in even without this, just with the ladders, because it doesn't matter. I won't lose too much. But in this one, I need to grind their number down. This number, I need to grind it down. Now here's the best way in my opinion. I go to these, right? Just pause it before all this starts. Build the trebuchets, 4 of them, right? And just press fast forward. And one more thing I want to mention while all this is building up, that if you do not have a huge army, you might get attacked in the middle of it. So always be wary of that. But as I said in another video, always take big fights, especially right now, April 22nd, 2020. This is when the video has been made. Take big fights, because I'm gonna tell you right now, most of these big armies, oh, that guy has 2,000, oh, that guy has 1,000, oh, that guy has 500, depending on how small your army is, right? Your army of upgraded troops can take out an army 5 times its size, because the enemy AI usually have a good 10% good cavalry, and the rest 10% good cavalry, some good archers, and 80% recruits or villagers or stuff like that. Like, they don't have good armies. Their composition is garbage. I feel like they're going to change it soon, make it better, but for right now, they're garbage. So take big fights. Trust me. You win them, you'll get a lot of everything, a lot of gold, equipment, and all the other stuff. So please take big fights. Take risks in this game, because most of the time you will win them. So now let's continue. And as soon as this builds, what you want to do you can pause it, right? Pause it, click on it, left click on it, and move to reserve. Move it to reserve, because if you just let this play out right now, these four right here, they're gonna win. So move to reserve, and it disappears, right? So now we're gonna wait for the second one. It takes some time. Boom, move to reserve. And one more thing, always check this right here. When you're doing big, long sieges, check your cohesion, right? Why? Because if you don't check, and if it runs out, guess what? Your whole army is just going to disappear, which is really annoying. All you have to do to bring it back up is click this, go up here to where it says cohesion, plus 10. I don't really know what it takes. I think it takes some influence, does it? Yeah, it takes some influence, but barely any, especially late game. Like, it doesn't really take any influence at all. Just always make sure this is up to date. Always press the plus 10 and press done. And now fast forward, let's keep building the siege machines. Do that. See, you can keep, look, the thing is, I don't even know if you actually know. I was thinking you could keep building them, but no, you cannot keep building them. Okay, so once that's being done, I would suggest building other forms, right? Just keep building up your army. If you have all the time in the world, just keep building up this siege army, keep moving it to reserve. So once you start making your attack, you can just keep replacing them automatically instead of waiting. Move that to reserve. We're gonna move all these to reserve pretty much. Move to reserve. Actually, hold on, wrong one. Move to reserve. These come up quick. Now we're gonna make some catapults as well. Just have a good arsenal of you know, things you could use. Move that to reserve. And as you can see, we're slowly building an arsenal. We're going to pause it, check your cohesion, bring it back up, check your food, see, okay, we still have 23 more days, so we have plenty of time. Always check your food. If your army starts starving, good luck. They're going to start deserting, they're going to start, your morale's going to go down, everything's going to go down. And if you attack with a really small morale, a lot more of your troops are going to die. Now once these all get finished, I will start the assault. Not the assault, the besieging process pretty much. Move to reserve. Last one. Move to reserve. Alrighty, boys. Now pause it one more time. And you could low-key start building these in the back. Because after we besiege, after all of our machines are pretty much down, that's when we're going to attack the castle. So put your best. I always put the trebuchets first. Just put them out there. And press continue. Whenever they die, replace it with the other stuff that you have. And as you can see, every single time, let me pause it, every single time that one of their towers gets taken down, you can see the population goes down and down and down and down. And it's worse for them. I've sometimes lost troops, but sometimes you do not even lose troops when your machines go down. But their losses, like if you're the one defending, your losses are a lot worse when your machines get destroyed. So let's continue. Pretty much just a waiting game. As you can see, the population is going down significantly over time. Just every time something breaks, population goes down. And as you can see, the trebuchets are very, very good. And one thing I would suggest also, upgrade. Let's get this over with. Yeah. Okay. Let's get this one over with too. Now let's go to character. It's very important if you want to make this even better. Your engineer is going to put a lot of points into this. I didn't, which was a mistake, but next playthrough I am, because there's some very good ones here that improve. Like, see, catapults are 30% more effective, fire catapults. Then you got siege engines have 20% more HP. Bombardment damage against other siege are increased by 20%. Like, all these are very, very good, as you can see. So make sure to up the skill. Now we're going to continue. Looks like one of our trebuchets is about to get destroyed. Just put whatever else you have and just keep it going. If you got the time and you got the food and you got the you know, the advantage, and you can take the time, why not take it? It will save you a lot more troops. It'll save you everything. So now we're going to put this up. We're going to continue. Just continue breaking their defenses. Now, as you can see, once the towers are done, they're going to attack the walls. And here's the thing. If you can get their walls down, you're golden, because then you don't have to wait for no siege tower. You don't have to wait for these siege towers to reach the wall for them to start climbing. You don't have to wait for this to, you know, bash through the first wall. Then you have to attack the second wall with just your, what do you call it, your swords. If they break down a wall, when you go into the assault, there's going to be a huge wall, and it's going to be a direct opening to their base. So it saves you a lot, and it saves a lot of your army members from just getting shot by arrows. So let's continue. Let's see if we can break down the wall. It would be great to break it down a wall, but it takes a very long time, as you can see. Like, we've been here for a couple in-game days. So, like I said before, if you have the time, do it. If you don't, it is what it is. Try your best. Another one down. Let's put that one up. Just gonna continue. Once we do break, I think we're gonna break down this one wall. Once we do break down this one wall, we will go for the assault after this. To be honest, we don't even need one of these if we break down the wall. If we break down the wall. If we don't, then I will continue with the siege tower. Hopefully they break it down. It's very close. And the wall is broken, as you can see, which is amazing. Let's see if they can break down the second wall. They broke down 2 walls. Very nice. You do not even need this one. And now, as you can see, let's pause it. Now we're perfectly ready to go for the attack. I couldn't get that out of my mouth, but yeah, as you can see, they have barely any, also no ballistas right now, so they won't shoot us as we're going close. All they have is archer fire. And yeah, the walls are broken. It's a perfect situation. As you can see, we went from 1,000 to 800 to 1,000 to 400. We literally halved them. So, if, like I said before, if you have the time in the game, if you have the food, you know, and if you have the supreme force, because if you have a smaller force, a bigger army will try to attack you, right? But if you have a good amount of force and you have other people like in your clan in the background doing work as well, as you can see by your armies, they're all doing something, right? Then you're good to go. This is like the perfect situation. So let's lead the assault. Now I'm going to fast forward this point because my computer lags. But as you can see, I use a bow for the most part. It's very significant. I just get rid of the archers that attack my troops, which helps in, like, you know, losing less troops, in my opinion. And one more thing before we start. You saw how I pressed lead an assault, not send troops. Never send troops. Never send troops. They do the same thing as warband. You could have the best units versus their units, which are the worst, and you'll still lose like half of your units. It's just a random generator whenever you press lead troops. It doesn't really go off their skill. Because, like, I can go into this castle right now, lead this assault. I'll lose probably like 80 and wound like probably like 40 troops, right? Around there. But if I was to send troops, I would lose 400 troops. I swear to God, never press send troops. And another thing, I'm just doing all this before I start because I know it's gonna lag. Another thing, please try not to die during the attack. Once you're down, your units, I guess they lose morale or something because they start dying a lot easier. Because in raids where I've died early, I've seen a lot more losses than in raids that I've stayed alive the whole time. So yeah, let's get to it. And there it is, boys. Literally the easiest siege ever. We started with 1,000 versus 800. We destroyed all of them, and we only lost 27 troops. As good as it gets. Prisoners aren't looking that hot right now. Grab all the loot. Boom. We have the new town under our name. We're gonna give it an owner real quick. Ties. There it is. And now, one important thing to do after you get another town, your new army, is you can see that there's no defenders. One thing that I always do is, as soon as I get it, I give it to an owner, and then I visit the town. What visiting the town will do with your army is, first, your clan's going to sell out of stuff, they're going to get more food, and they're also going to donate troops to the settlement. So pretty much, you don't want a town that only has 12 defenders, because if you're in an ongoing war, as soon as you leave, another army is going to come by and take it back if it's very undefended. But what I usually do is I do that, and I also put some of my troops in to pretty much build up the garrison. So you go to the keep, go to donate troops, and I just donate some of my, you know, troops that are not like the best, right? So just take some random troops and just get, I don't like giving horsemen really, because even when you defend, they're never on horses. But yeah, just give a couple of your troops. Be nice, you know, this is a new town in your kingdom or new castle. And yeah, once you give a couple troops 25, you gave 25, your allies gave some as well that were in your army. And once you leave again, it went from 12 to 100, which means if an enemy army has about 150, 200 people, they're not going to attack this castle, which pretty much gives you, you know, a good starting defense. But yeah, hopefully this helps. Hopefully it kind of taught you some things. And yeah, I'm going to keep coming out with more, and very excited for the future. Thank you guys for watching. I know it took a little bit extra time, but I just wanted to explain every single part as best as I could. If you have any questions, like I said, leave them in the comments. And yeah, have a great day. Stay safe.